Riccardo, thank you for joining me here in San Francisco. So, Helsind's a really interesting company. Can you just describe, in your own words, the focus for the company?
Yeah, first of all, Helsinn is a family business. It's a third generation. I'm representing the third generation into the business. So that is also quite unique because normally a lot of family companies didn't survive for so long. And we have been focused especially to the oncology patients. So we are focusing our development and our marketing of our products in what is called the cancer supportive care, which means the management of side effects in cancer and in chemotherapy. So anything which goes from nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, and so on, and what is called cachexia, which is also a big unmet medical need. And then based on that, we also started developing new drugs also in cancer therapeutics. So the targeting area of skin cancer, hematological cancer, and also lung cancer. So that is where Helsinn has evolved. Our future is really to take new drugs in the area of small targets and rare disease in cancer.
Okay. And you mentioned there it being a family-owned business, and that brings a unique, personality to the company. Does that let you do particular things that maybe you couldn't do if it was a public company?
Our family has always reinvest the results into the company in the last 40 years. So the company has grown from a startup of 2 people now and 700 people. We're headquartered in Switzerland, but also based strongly in the United States, in Europe, and in Asia, recently in Shanghai. So being a family company has the advantage of having strong value, like we have in quality, integrity, and respect. We work for the long term and not for the short term. On the other side, of course, we have not access to capital, so we have to manage the project in a very clever way, in a very more networking way, creating a lot of relationship, licensing in, licensing out to deal with the lack of capital.
And you touched there on the in and out licensing. Partnership's been a key aspect of Helsind's growth. So what are you looking for with external partners that you know will make it successful?
Yeah, I think that Helsinn is quite unique in licensing. When we started doing licensing 42 years ago, nobody was doing that. It was really in licensing early stage product for multinational company or university, and then develop them throughout all the processes from phase 1 to the market, and then licensing out on a country by country basis or regional basis to a lot of partners. And then what we have done is following these partners throughout the journey. So not just giving a product, but supporting them on legal aspect, regulatory aspect, medical aspect, marketing, everything that is needed. And we have a long relationship with our partners. And in fact, we have been very respected because we follow them, we help them, and of course they help us. So it's a long mutual relationship.
So the partnership really only just begins at the point of agreeing something. It's then how you work together on this.
Yeah, I think it's based on respect. If you respect your partner and you share in an equal way also the return, and you are not greedy, then there is a long-term relationship. We have fantastic relationship with Japanese companies, which is lasting for many, many years. We have fantastic relationship with South America, North America, everywhere, because really we're trying to create a long-lasting relationship.
And you talked about the focus on cancer care, not just the medicines.
Yeah.
When you look at it from the perspective of the patient, what do you see is really important to them going beyond the actual medical products themselves?
Well, exactly. What was important, I tried to put the patients in the center. When I took over the company from my father, I refocused the company into the cancer space, mainly because I was affected by my best friend that died very badly by multiple myeloma. And so I was shocked about all the side effects and the things were behind that. So I decided to move all the research of my company into the space of the supportive care in cancer. And so focusing to the patient, to put the patients at the center, that was very key. So we developed drugs, and also recently we are developing also an app that will help patients and healthcare provider how to monitor the side effects. Because if you can monitor the side effect online, you can tell the patient to come first to the doctor and reduce the impact of his side effects. Because more than this became chronic, then will be more difficult to solve.
Yeah.
So an app and a digital health could help in these aspects.
And you've had an emerging interest in technology and companion diagnostics for a while. In some ways, it's quite a different business to pharmaceuticals. So how do you bridge the kind of longer cycles of pharma and the partnerships there with the very rapid scale of technology?
Well, I've been always a very curious person, so anything that is new and technology oriented is very interesting for me. So I have created a small fund, a venture capital fund, that invests in new technologies. And so, of course, drugs is one of the focus, but also medical devices and diagnostics has been a key. So we have invested in few companies and looking how these diagnostics could help the drug company or could help the healthcare professional to better take care of the patients in the long term.
And in terms of these emerging technologies and the regulatory environment and approval pathways, do you think we're getting to a point where it's sophisticated enough to kind of help them develop and get onto the market?
Oh yeah, I think that artificial intelligence could help a lot in the area of clinical trials development, to reduce and manage better clinical trials, to help the regulatory authorities and the company to have a more analysis what could be the end of the game, so the target label in advance, and so to planning better the development of a drug or of a device. That will be more helpful. So I'm very confident that in the next 5 to 10 years we will see a lot of new things coming in that will help our industry to save costs, but also to speed the time of development, which at the end is a limiting factor for patients. Because today patients that goes into clinical trials will not benefit, because the product will only be approved in 5-year times or 6-year times from now. So they will probably already be died of the illness. So if we can shorter this period of time with the help also of new technologies and digital health and artificial intelligence, I would be very happy to see that.
And we know that cancer in every case is a very complex disease.
Yes.
And it mutates and develops over time. Every patient is different. Do you think we're getting much closer to be able to personalize the treatment to individual patients?
Absolutely. Between what we mentioned, between diagnostics, personal diagnostic kits that potentially can be even done at home in the future, and the point of analyzing personally the mutation that can be different from one patient to the other, because cancer is based on mutations. So that could be definitely a personalized target. And this we will see more and more group of patients, more than lung cancer for everybody. We know already that there are subgroups, and we will see more and more subgroup of the subgroups. And this will be a way of to more targeted personalized medicine.
And we're already seeing in some cases people that maybe 20 years ago would have not have survived, who are surviving now.
Yeah.
We've seen some amazing breakthroughs. As you play that forwards over the next decade, are there particular cancer indications or technologies that you think are really exciting that could completely change the way we tackle it?
I think that more and more cancer in the future will become a chronic disease, where you will not probably, in certain kind of cancer, we will have really a final positive results with the treatment, but in other will become a chronic disease which can last a long time, and you can live with cancer for many, many years. So that will be a shift of paradigm. If you go back 20 years ago, you die in cancer in a few months. Today, still in certain type of cancer, you die very fast. But I am a strong believer between a mix of therapies, drug therapies, medical devices, early diagnosis is very important. We will have a better profile in the future.
And in terms of your leadership within the company, what's important to you in terms of the culture of Helsinn and the type of people that you're looking for?
So for us, Helsinn being a family company, it's important that the people that work with me are aligned on our objective of where we want to be, and our objective of growth for the next year. So for me, it's very important to attract people with the same mentality, the same long-term goals. We are not interested in having a quarter of good sales. We are not interested to have a great year. We are more interested in a 10-year scenario. So that is the people that I'm looking for. I'm looking also for people that are bright, of course, and they believe in the same value of quality, respect, and integrity that are the base of our family.
And for you in leading this company, what is it that motivates you and really gets you out of bed every day?
Well, the most motivating things for me is to be able to treat some patients. And in a few cases, I receive letters from patients that writing to the company saying, thanks to your product, we have less side effects. Thanks to your product, I was able to be treating my cancer. So that's the best result that we can have. Of course, we are here for making profit. We are a commercial company, obvious, but the result of patient writing back a letter and saying thanks to what you have done for us, I think is the best motivating factor for what I'm doing every day in my company.
It's incredibly powerful, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you think back to the start of your career and everything that you've learned, if you could go back and give your younger self some advice, what would it be?
Well, it's very different because when I started 35 years ago, it was a different world. There was no all the sophistication of computer app, and the world was totally different. So in 30 years, really the world has totally changed. But today, what I will say to my sons when I tell them is trying to be very curious, trying to find all the new innovation that you can look at around, but also hard work is very important because it's not just the idea that makes the difference, it's the execution of idea that is very important. And the execution is only made by hard work. Then you can be lucky, but if you don't do hard work and preparation and execution, you will not get there.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Riccardo,
absolutely.
thank you very much for speaking with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you to you.